When Americans woke up today and saw flags lower across the country, a lot of people immediately started asking the same question. Wait, why are flags at half-staff today? And honestly, if you opened social media this morning, you probably saw confusion everywhere. Some people thought it was tied to a breaking tragedy. Others assumed it was political, and many had no idea there's actually a federal observance behind it. But today, May 15th, flags are flying at half-staff in honor of Peace Officers Memorial Day, a national day dedicated to law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. The observance is part of National Police Week in the United States. And here's something many people don't realize. This isn't just a symbolic gesture from a few states. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share for updates. Thanks. The order affects flags nationwide, from federal buildings to state offices, and many governors across the country issue their own directives for flags to remain lowered from sunrise to sunset today. Now here's where this story becomes bigger than just a flag. Every time the American flag is lowered, it sends a message. It forces people to pause. And whether you support law enforcement strongly, criticize aspects of policing, or sit somewhere in the middle, today becomes one of those moments where the country collectively acknowledges sacrifice. That's what makes this topic so emotionally complicated. And honestly, that's why conversations around Peace Officers Memorial Day often explode online every year. Because for some Americans, today is about honoring officers who died protecting communities. For others, it opens larger conversations about policing in America, public trust, accountability, and the relationship between citizens and law enforcement. And if we're being real, that tension is exactly why this observance still matters. Peace Officers Memorial Day dates back to 1962, when Congress approved the observance and President John F. Kennedy signed it into law. Since then, May 15th has been recognized annually to honor fallen officers. Years later, federal law also established a tradition of lowering U.S. flags to half-staff on May 15th. And this year, President Donald Trump issued the official proclamation ordering flags lowered nationwide for Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week. But here's the part one think deserves more attention. Most Americans notice the flag, but don't know the stories behind the names being remembered. Every year, families of fallen officers attend memorial ceremonies, candlelight vigils, and tributes across the country. Some of those families lost loved ones decades ago. Others lost someone just months ago. And regardless of politics, that grief is real. At the same time, I think it's important to say this respectfully. Honoring officers who died does not automatically erase public concerns about policing. Both conversations can exist together. And I think mature societies should be capable of holding both truths at once. That's my personal opinion. Because if we reduce every national observance into a political fight, we lose the human side of it. Today isn't really about headlines. It's about people who never came home from work. And that's why the image of the lowered flag still hits emotionally for so many Americans. Now here's something interesting that a lot of viewers may not know. There's actually a difference between half-staff and half-mast. In the United States, half-staff is generally used for flags on land, while half-mast is traditionally used for flags on ships. But in everyday conversation, people use both interchangeably. Also, today's lowering only lasts until sunset. That's standard protocol for Peace Officers Memorial Day, unless additional proclamations are issued. And here's the bigger picture I want you to think about before this video ends. Flags at half-staff are becoming increasingly common in America. Natural disasters, mass shootings, military losses, national tragedies, political figures, first responders. It feels like the country is constantly mourning something. Some people see unity in that tradition. Others think Americans are becoming emotionally numb to it because it happens so often. And honestly, I think both sides have a point. Because when the flag lowers, it's supposed to make people stop and reflect. But in the age of non-stop news cycles and social media outrage, moments of reflection rarely last long anymore. Tomorrow, most people will move on to the next trending story. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share for updates. Thanks. But for families connected to today's observance, the grief doesn't end when a flag goes back up, and that's the part many people forget. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think national observances like Peace Officers Memorial Day still unite Americans? Or have these moments become too politically divided in 2026?